My name is Alan T. DiBona. I was the World Trade Center sergeant on September 11th when the first plane struck Tower North. I was also one of the supervisors who stood in the lobby of Tower 1 with FDNY, Battalion Chief Pfeiffer, Hayden, and many others. Decisions we made that day to send altruistic heroes to different parts of that building to rescue people will forever live with us. Rosalie Talon, I agree with you 100%. I am not here to condemn Muslims. I am here to condemn the Islamic Jihad terrorists who killed their own people, they killed their own people, and they killed Americans and people around the world. They have perverted their religion. I want to thank retired FDNY Tim Brown for his unwavering dedication to stop the mosque at Ground Zero. This is hallowed ground. It will remain hallowed ground. Mayor Bloomberg, please stop misleading people. America, I want to begin with a plea. I want to begin and end with a quote from a movie that has had a deep part in my life, The Lord of the Rings. How do you pick up the threads of an old life? How do you go on when in your heart you begin to understand there is no going back? There are some wounds that can't be healed. There are some hurts that go too deep and have taken hold. A decade ago, an act of terror was perpetrated upon us by Islamic Jihad terrorists who flew planes into the towers. To refer to these cowards in any other context is a lie. It was a day when great evil was brought upon us, great death and destruction. It was also a day when the courage of America grew ever stronger in the hearts of its people. Those who just went to work that day managed to save the lives of others as they helped the wounded and the traumatized find their way to safety. Tragically, thousands never returned home that day. When airplanes struck the towers, hundreds were killed instantly. People were being consumed by flames. They jumped to their death. They exploded upon impact. The windows, the sidewalks were splattered with blood. Others made telephone calls to us in desperate pleas to save them. Others called their families for the last time to whisper their goodbyes. These words will last forever in my memory. Some were fortunate and they found their way out. Many were not. Many helped others to escape. America! Are you still listening? Or have you become numb?
What's up, America?
As a first responder, all of them, all the first responders were lost in a fog of war that day. They set up escape routes for people to exit from the safest locations. FDNY stormed the blazing towers to work their way up into Stairwell B in a desperate effort to ensure that people were saved. The PAPD, the NYPD, EMS all mirrored these actions. Supervised organizers made decisions where to send these altruistic heroes who were all self-motivated. A look of determination glowed in their eyes that day as they stepped forward to fulfill their vocations and their oaths. They focused on their duty. They absorbed the images of hundreds of people, hundreds of bodies that were charred beyond recognition, the remains of gutted humans and body parts lying all around them. Time came to a standstill. Surrealism was the norm. The towers fell, and 3,000 souls passed through the survivors. People who had just went to work that day were murdered. Rescuers had been sent, and most of them never returned. How do you explain this? How do you explain this to a grieving family at a memorial service as you kneel on your knees with your eyes weeping? How do you explain this? I can tell you. They look at you and they say to you, I understand. I understand. 343 FDNY, 37 Port Authority Police, 23 New York City police officers, EMS, civilian, 2 EMS, FBI, a court officer, civilians from the Port Authority and other companies, all gave their lives for others. 20,000 lives were saved that day. America, please never forget, today is Patriots Day. And to refer to it in any other fashion is dishonor to the fallen. We worked for 9 months in toxic waste in hopes of finding loved ones to lay to rest. Firefighters and police embraced each other and wept for their loved ones. They searched for family members and colleagues. Yet, through all of their grief, their strength prevailed. Every recovery was treated with the utmost dignity. We thank God for the recoveries which were made during those months. America, those recoveries were a bittersweet reunion. America,